Okay.
Am I supposed to look at the camera or look at you?
Do whatever makes you feel good. Okay.
So, Other Side of the Game is a play written by myself and Keisha Monique Simpson. And it is a play exploring the stories of women who live by what we call a ride or die philosophy. So the term ride or die came out of hip-hop culture, and it speaks to a woman who is loyal to the end. There is no boundaries. Her love for whoever it is that she is ride or die to, whether it be her community, whether it be her partner, whether it be her friends, has no limitation. Sorry, your faces now. So there were two major influences that led to writing this play. So for myself, one of my best friends was incarcerated, and I was going to visit him at the Don Jail, and every time I went there and looked around in the visitors' waiting room, it was only women that were there, or majority women. And I started to wonder why, and who were these women, and what were their stories. And so I started asking some of my friends about their own experiences of going to visit people that they loved that were incarcerated, whether it be their lovers, whether it be their friends, family members. And their stories were super intense, and nobody had ever asked them about them before. And so I just became really interested in this kind of loyalty and this kind of love that leads you to go to places that might be really uncomfortable, places that might be unsafe, places that might not be wise for you to be. And I'm not just speaking about geographical spaces like jails, but even emotional spaces. What does it mean to love people who are targeted? What does it mean to love people who are criminalized all the time? And then the second inspiration came through Keisha Monique, who had been having these really incredible dreams about women who were involved in radical political organizing in the 1970s. And she was having these dreams that she and I wrote a play about these women. And so we decided, in thinking about these women, we realized that these women who were very much involved in like the Black Power movement in the 70s, or involved in organizing here in Canada in a particular way, were also living by a ride or die philosophy. But it was ride or die for their community, or ride or die for this political movement. So I think that The Other Side will be a cool introduction because it's imagined, the characters are imagined composite characters. It's not this character is inspired by one particular person or one particular story. So I think people will find familiarity. They might even find a familiar scenario or story, but there will be nothing that's like, I have been exposed, my whole life has been put out there. And I'm hoping we'll find a really good balance where people will not only feel like the story is familiar, but also feel affirmed in their story. Because I think that's what the interview process has been. Like a lot of the people that we've interviewed didn't even realize that this was something that was valued enough to be a story that anybody would want to know about or hear about. And it's been definitely an emotional process, but I think it's also been affirming to people to know that, like, we value your story. We think this is really important. This story has been the inspiration for us to work on this project, and I hope that the play and the documentary will be a similar experience. Right now, I really appreciate it. It keeps me in check. It makes sure that I'm still doing work, but it's also a lot of support, because I think if I was doing it by myself, I would get very overwhelmed very easily because the topic is so intense and so deep. And to be doing it with somebody who I know is similarly affected by it is comforting. It's supportive. And I also am just really excited to see how our writing is going to take shape together, because we have very different styles, and it might be either really amazing or really bad. So we'll see. I'm leaning towards amazing. Very beginning. So this presentation will be a very raw stage of development, like the first presentation, the first draft. It'll probably be a reading, and basically, in order to write this play, we have been doing interviews with women. It's a research-informed production, so we've been doing interviews with people who can speak to both of these time periods and can speak to this topic, and it's their interviews and their stories and some of the other research that we've done in reading articles and books, listening to music, watching movies, that has helped to inform the writing that we're doing. But we're committing to work on this for a really long time, so this is just the first kind of presentation, and we hope to get some feedback from that to continue.
Money or Murder Inc.?
Sorry. Cash Money.
Okay. Cash Money or Rough Riders?
Rough Riders.
Lil' Kim or Foxy Brown?
Foxy.
Favorite documentary?
Oh my God, why did No More Tears, Sister.
5, 2, 3, here's one.
No.
Okay.
But it's about Rajni give you the full name later.
And favorite school subject?
English or
Okay.
drama.
Or drama?
It just depended on the teacher.
And favorite piece of jewelry?
My Africa continent ring, which I'm not wearing today, and I regret sorely because I could have rocked it right now.
Oh, nice. So we're done.
Amazing, that was good.